to during large competitions, Jersey Shore Science Fair, Delaware Valley Science Fair, etc. And even within the classrooms, they're constantly researching and taking the next step. So we're trying to give them the most amount of knowledge for the next level in terms of going to college and beyond. So what I did is I went ahead and researched to find microscopes that had cameras on them. And this, like I said, is kind of mature because it's newer technology. So a couple different pieces of equipment that were purchased. The first one you can see is over on the board. Great. This camera is actually wireless, and I love this one because you're seeing this. This is a what is this called? What? Yes, damselfly. Okay, so this is a damselfly larvae, an aquatic insect, and this is actually a live specimen that is underneath the camera over there in the corner. And the other awesome aspect of this camera is that if anyone has a smartphone or an iPad, you can download the application and you can easily view the image if you're in the Wi-Fi signal. So these are the school's iPads. The students we did in class as well, some of them actually have it on their phones. You can probably pull it up. They can see the image on their phone right now. And what's really amazing is they can take a picture of that image, go into the photo gallery, and they can go ahead and they can do measurements, they can write on it, they can label it, and then they can also put that into laboratories, print that out, etc. So that's a very functional camera that can be used on any microscope with the top trinocular cord, and that's why I purchased actually 11 of those. Thank you, Scott. There are 7 compound microscopes. We go into the compound light microscopes. And there are 5 of the stereo microscopes, which are for larger images, kind of like macro stuff, we call it. So like I said, that wireless camera, multifaceted, can be used. Also the tablets, those are iPads. This is an Android-based tablet. I purchased 5 of these, and this is the actual camera mounted onto the tablet that they can put on top of the microscope. But this tablet also is connected to the internet. So what I did is I downloaded the Modig software, and this can be used with the wireless camera or can be used as a separate independent camera, which is pretty amazing. The other aspect of this technology, which is great for research, is if we take this example here up front, the software that's included with this allows you to do different things. You can actually capture the image, you can change the backgrounds, you can do a lot of different things with this particular object. You can capture it, you can take videos, and then obviously do measurements. And this is the separate software from Modig, which is who makes that camera. Okay. Any questions on the wireless? This one here is set up, and I also would like to thank the foundation. They also helped me with the grant for the TV that serves as a demonstration piece. This TV, 46-inch flat screen, is used to view what's on the tablets. So we can plug in with an HDMI cord right to the TV from the tablet. And as you can see, when it's connected, you can't view it on the tablet. You can only view it on the screen. But as Richard's going to do, he's going to take a picture of this image, and he's going to go into the software that's on the tablet. And this is, so you can go back into the gallery from this particular application, view any of the images. That's the last one that he took. And he can go ahead and I can ask him to measure the length of one of the tentacles, either millimeters, micrometers, whatever length is required. And he can go ahead and create a line there, which will give the total measurement of that particular, the distance between the tentacles as well. So this is actually a hydroid sample. It's related to jellyfish. The other option is they could use the software to create multiple images, layer them. So there's a lot of variety here with the actual software. They can go ahead and create a text box and label that diagram. So if I said your assignment in class is to label the parts of the hydroid, then they would have to go ahead, open up the software, label it, save it, and they can email it directly from the tablet. Or there is a port on the side that allows them to use a USB drive, so they can dump that directly onto the USB or flash drive, save that image, and put it in live reports or email it as homework to classroom assignment. So the options are endless when it comes to the software. And again, we're just kind of learning this as we go. There's a lot to it, but the students here are amazing. They're actually showing me some stuff. Check this out, check this out. There's a lot of cool bells and whistles that go along with it overall. And again, this can be used on any of the cameras. This can be taken off and can be put on any of the microscopes themselves. And like I said, there are compound scopes as well as the stereoscopes there. The next piece over here is pretty impressive. This is a separate camera, which is a 5 megapixel camera, which attaches directly to the laptop with a USB port, and you go ahead and do the same functionality as you saw up here. You can capture the image, do measurements. When you come around and take a look, this is actually, I went ahead and took a egg case of a whelk. Okay. Yeah. What's our Seychelle? Right here. Seychelle. This is our knobbed whelk. So this is the egg case from a knobbed whelk. So I went ahead and cut one of these. They're dried up. I cut one of these cases open, and all of these little tiny pieces of debris in there are little miniature whelks that look like this. So using that software, you can take and measure them. If it was a live sample, you can actually see them moving around. So that's kind of a little tool there. I was talking to Mr. Sprague a little bit for environmental science. We were talking about using this in the classrooms, looking at tree rings, using the stereoscopes to be able to count the age of the tree. There's different tree rings. You can look at other aspects of the growth as well. And again, I just set up a couple different examples there with the microscopes and utilizing them with different slides. Some of them have prepared slides. The one over in the corner actually has a human blood smear with sickle cells. So you can identify cells and just measure them and identify the sickle cell shape, etc. There's another smaller camera in the back, which is going to be a good one as well for student research. Very simple, easy to use with the Modig software, and you can definitely have that as a tool as well. Could you give us some
the binocular microscope do something like that?
Oh yes, and I did, that was a good point. You see this one here as a binocular, meaning you look at it with 2 eyes. The other ones that I purchased have the monocular, the one in the front. These serve a purpose. They're great for the medical field when you're scanning for long periods of time, looking at blood samples, etc. But we went with the traditional monocular for some of the stereoscopes for the binocular. But again, with my experience so far, and just using them with a limited amount of time, the advantages have been unbelievable. They have a big lab report coming up with leaf packs and macrovertebrates, which are these bugs, and they're going to be using the microscopes, capturing images, putting them directly in their lab reports. And they're all excited.
So excited.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So,
Excellent. Great. Thank you.
if anyone wants to come up and try to